Alright, welcome back to the shop. I've got a bunch of Makita tools. I've been very happy with the Makita. I used to own some DeWalt stuff, and I still do own some DeWalt things. And you may have heard me rant. It's been some time. But the quality of, in my experience, and I'm not a contractor, I'm not any of that stuff, I don't use this stuff day in and day out, so I'm just telling you anecdotally, what I've seen is that the old DeWalt stuff was great. Just hands down great stuff. I've owned Milwaukee, great stuff. But I was compelled to buy Makita one time, and I've really loved it. I've been very happy with the quality of the stuff that they have, and you know, for me, it seems to work well, and I've got no complaints. But you know, that's just my experience, so I'm going with that. However, not everything that I buy is completely acceptable. By and large, I defer to the engineers and the wise people that design these tools because, you know, they're experts in the subject matter and I'm not. So for me to think, oh, well, you know, I know better than they do, you know, that's pretty presumptuous. However, they must have had a bunch of old incandescent bulbs, and what I'm going to do today, well, actually I've sort of already done it, is I've replaced the incandescent bulb. And they actually give you two, which was sort of nice, in case you blew one up. I've gone ahead and replaced it with an LED, and you know that couldn't be any easier. You literally just pop it in here and screw the housing down, and you're done. I can tell you that the profiles of the two different lights are different. One being a flood, and then the other one, this LED is much more focused. It's much more of a spotlight. And if you're interested in it, I haven't run it for any real duration, just for a couple minutes here and there. But this is the part that I bought, and I bought it from Amazon. And the reviews, again, I put a lot of stock in the reviews on Amazon. Some people were happy with it. And again, this is the LXT 18 volt Makita. I'm sure they make them for other stuff. I've done this modification with my big flashlight. When I say big flashlight, I mean big flashlight. This is the 6-cell mag light. This is a great light. You know, it's hard to lose these big ones. And anyway, that's held up great. I've had that for a couple of years now. But what I'm going to show you today is I'm going to attempt to show you the amp draw between these batteries. And for simplicity's sake, instead of trying to hack into this side of that battery and that side of the battery, I'm just going to use a 12 volt light just to give you some rough numbers of the differences between the LED and the incandescent bulb. And how I'm going to do that is with my little multimeter here. Typically, when you're doing just about anything, you have the multimeter set up like that. You could say that, you know, your diode, your capacitance, your temperature, ohms, resistance, hertz, all that other stuff is going to be off this one. But when you want to use this like an amp meter, up to 10 amps, you're going to need to move it over to here. And then I'm going to run this in line in the circuit. And then it's going to give me the amperage. You can see it's a DC. That DC amperage that's running through the bulb. And I'm going to compare the two. And that'll give us some sort of a baseline as to how much more efficient this LED is than the regular incandescent. So, and hopefully this shows up on the camera, but I'll also insert the numbers on the screen when I figure it out. So, alright, so this is the LED. That's showing 2.3 amps. 0.23 amps, is that what I said? Alright, so we got 2.23 amps, and that's pretty solid right there. Alright, now here's the incandescent bulb. .46. So we've got twice the amp draw from this light. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to post two pictures. I couldn't find a good. It's pretty light out now, and I don't want to wait. So I just went into one of the bedrooms and pointed it at the floor, and I've got one image of the LED and one image of this incandescent bulb. And you can see that there's a brightness, there's a distinct difference in the beam pattern, and I don't have any way of actually determining how bright, how much light is being output, like a lumens meter. But in my opinion, I think the LED is a little bit brighter, but it's a spotlight, so it's a different kind of light, so it's that comparison might not necessarily be a good one. But anyway, so we've got our readings here of 2.3 and 4.6, I think it was, and that shows us that we're going to have about twice the runtime, you know, in terms of amp draw on this battery. So I can get, for $8.50 or whatever that bulb cost me, I just doubled my time for this light to run. And I wouldn't expect to run this light out. I don't use them that much, and you know, it's only dark for so many hours per night, so but you know, here in South Florida we do get hurricanes and we do lose power for protracted periods of time. So anyway, this is, you know, sort of essential stuff to keep around the house for hurricane season. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. Again, so you don't have to go back, this was the light that I got, and if for some reason this craps out on me or does something horrible, I will update the title of this in the future. So if the title just says Makita LED Upgrade, then you're fine. If it says Makita Upgrade Fail or something like that, you know, it'll be, and I'll put a description on how long it lasted or whatever. But anyway, if you're watching this a year from now and I don't update the title, it means it's still working. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and have a good night.